Emmerdale star Jeff Hordley has confirmed big twists and turns for Cain Dingle and Charity's standalone two-hander episode. The upcoming special will focus on the pair as Cain sets down a path of destruction in the wake of his latest hospital appointment. Amid Cain's fears of what his life will look like after surgery amid his prostate cancer storyline, Jeff said that the soap is keen to highlight the side effects. People can be temporarily incontinent or have erectile dysfunction, or it can also be long-term, the star explained. And when you think about that in terms of a person's identity and their life, then suddenly things massively change, and the ramifications are huge for an individual. So that's kind of where he's at, worried that things may not be the same with Moira anymore. What if they have to kind of cut so much out of the cancer that things will change for him in the future? So yeah, it's a huge worry for him. It's part of his identity, and that's what his concerns are. Next week's emotional two-hander episode will see Charity attempt to get Cain to open up amid his fragile mental state, and after breaking Zach's ale tankard in a rage, he breaks down before attempting to kiss Charity. Jeff praised director Ian Bavit for the scenes, alongside co-star Emma Atkins, noting the two stars have such a long-standing history, as they joined at the same time 26 years ago, and their characters have had a similar journey to real life. Recalling running through the scene together a day before filming began, he admitted it was a lot of fun to do. They've written this episode with those two characters and their history in mind, he added, before teasing. There's a lot of twists and turns in the episode, but ultimately Charity's there for Cain, and he's there for her as well. Jeff also called it beautifully written, and a really lovely episode, before beaming about some of his female co-stars on Emmerdale. I always say this, but I'm really lucky and feel very grateful that throughout my time on this show, I've always been surrounded by really strong female actresses. From Emma Atkins to Natalie J. Robb to Lucy Pageta to Charlie Webb, and now Katie Hill. I've always got these strong females around me who make it a breeze. The bottle shattered before the words ever could. Glass exploded across the floor of the small, dimly lit room, fragments scattering like the thoughts racing through Cain Dingle's mind. Silence followed. Heavy, unforgiving, and standing in the middle of it all was Cain Dingle, breathing hard, fists clenched, eyes burning with something far deeper than anger. Fear. The diagnosis that changed everything. It hadn't hit him at the hospital. Not properly. Sitting under harsh fluorescent lights, listening to clinical voices talk about procedures, risks, outcomes. Cain had nodded, pretended to understand, pretended to accept. But now it was real. A man unraveling. What if I'm not me anymore? The thought haunted him. Not out loud. Never out loud. But it echoed in every silence. The weight of identity. For a man like Cain, identity wasn't just who he was. It was everything. Strength. Control. Masculinity. Pride. And now, all of it felt under threat. The words he couldn't say. He couldn't tell Moira. Moira Dingle already had enough to deal with. Prison. Guilt. Distance. How could he add this? The fear beneath the surface. It wasn't just the cancer. It was what came after. The side effects. The changes. The unknown. A future he couldn't picture. What if things didn't work the same? What if he couldn't be the man he'd always been? What if Moira looked at him differently? The breaking point. Cain. The voice cut through the chaos. Soft. Familiar. Dangerous. Enter Charity. Charity Dingle stood in the doorway, watching him. Not afraid. Not hesitant. Just there. A history that never fades. They had been here before. Different reasons. Different pain. Same intensity. Two people, one storm. You're drinking again, Charity said quietly. Cain didn't answer. Didn't need to. The explosion. It's none of your business. The words came out sharper than intended. But Charity didn't flinch. Because she knew. She always knew. When he was hurting. When he was hiding. When he was about to fall apart. The truth beneath the anger. This isn't about the drink, she said. It's about what you're not saying. The crack in the armor. Cain laughed. Bitter. Defensive. You think you know everything, don't you? The calm before the storm. Charity stepped closer. I know you. Simple. Honest. Unavoidable. The breaking moment. And suddenly, the anger wasn't enough. The walls weren't strong enough. The silence wasn't safe enough. The confession. What if I lose everything? The words slipped out. Quiet. Fragile. Real. Charity's reaction. She didn't rush. Didn't interrupt. Just listened. Because this was new. Cain didn't open up. He didn't show weakness. He didn't admit fear. But now he had. And there was no taking it back. The reality of it all. They're going to cut into me, he said. Change things I can't get back. The unspoken fear. He didn't need to say it. Charity understood. What it meant. For his body. For his pride. For his marriage. The silence that followed. It stretched between them. Heavy. Meaningful. Charity steps in. You're still you. Cain shook his head. You don't know that. The truth he couldn't accept. Because for Cain, being himself meant control. Strength. Power. And he felt none of it. The emotional collapse. I can't do this, he admitted. And just like that, the man who never broke. Broke. Charity's strength. She moved closer. Not to fix him. Not to save him. But to stand with him. Because that's what they were. Messy. Complicated. Connected. The moment that changed everything. And then, it happened. The kiss. Cain leaned in. Desperate. Confused. Looking for escape. Not love. Not really. Not this time. A distraction. A way out. A way to forget. A way to feel something different. Charity's reaction. She pulled back. Firm. Certain. No. The reality check. That's not what you need. Her voice wasn't angry. Just honest. The truth hits harder. Because she was right. The fallout. Cain stepped back. Ashamed. Exposed. The long road ahead. This wasn't over. Not even close. But something had changed. He had spoken. Opened up. Let someone in. And that mattered. More than he realized. A fragile hope. Whatever happens, Charity said softly, you won't face it alone. The final moment. Cain didn't respond. Didn't need to. Because for the first time in a long time, he believed it.